Greetings, denizens of the internet. Today I'm making a commander hate list for Sauron, 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 and Sauron. Wait a minute. That's odd. There's 4 of them. Huh. You know, I wonder, do any of them do something similar? Oh look, a reanimator Sauron. A theft Sauron. A really annoying Sauron. And a jack of all trades Sauron. Fun. I have no idea why there are 4 Saurons, but yeah, pretty much this is the one you'll see the most often because, it's the strongest. That ward cost is effectively hexproof unless you want to lose your commander, or hexproof unless you sacrifice a legendary permanent. Which, usually legendary permanents are kind of hard to come by. I mean, now everybody's running multiple legendaries in decks, so it might not be as oppressive as it can be, but, still annoying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass orcs 1 is definitely annoying. Army, yeah, basically this whole text box is literally just, oh look, ability works with ability, and that ability works with that ability, and that ability works with that ability. It's questing beast levels of annoying. Just instead of independent abilities, all of them work together. This version of Sauron is basically probably the biggest bodied one of the group. This one's 7/6, and this one's a 9/9 with trample. For what? 8 mana? I'd say that's really good. And, the worst part is this one was designed for Commander because you can literally tell whenever commander an opponent controls dies, the ring tempts you. Which, not only does this Sauron work with the Dark Lord Sauron by letting you wheel every time you want to get 4 more cards with the other Sauron, but this Sauron and this Sauron also amasses your orcs even more. And then, oh look, a free creature right to the battlefield. And, this Sauron synergizes with that other Sauron because it has an enters the battlefield trigger, which is just annoying. And you gain control of a creature an opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it, gains haste. And it gives all your creatures +2/+0, which works with the army and the other Saurons. And this Sauron is the most egregious of them all. And, whenever this Sauron attacks, you exile a target creature card from your graveyard. And there's a Sauron, this one, that just so happens to help fill your yard. I fucking hate Sauron. Because you could realistically see all 4 of these in the same deck. And as someone who has, let me tell you, if someone gets all 4 Saurons on the battlefield, consider the game over, because that's pretty much where it's at. Not only will they have a massive orc army, but, this Sauron will create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of whatever other Saurons that they can grab if, say, one dies. And sure, it's 3/3 Black Wraith, but who cares if you just make the Necromancer your ring bearer? Like, I hate Sauron, but you see, there's one card that makes Saurons just not even nearly as annoying. And that card is Solemnity. AKA this thing. If you play this, they can't amass until it is gone. And, that's a good time. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's just horrible. It's horrible that all four of those Saurons go well together. Because each one, okay, two of them, well, let's just take another look at these. This one doesn't like dealing with Reanimator. This one doesn't like dealing with... This one doesn't like... These two, Sauron and Sauron, don't like anti-Reanimator strategies. This Sauron and this Sauron don't like Solemnity. This Sauron and this Sauron don't like it when your opponents take back their stuff. Well, actually, just this Sauron. This Sauron doesn't like it when you just prevent tokens from being made or have mass creature destruction. All of the Saurons share one weakness that one should absolutely know. And that is, every Sauron can be countered. So, one should optimally run as many counter spells as feasibly possible if you know you're going to play against a Sauron player. Otherwise, you're doomed. Because these Saurons are fucking annoying. This Sauron works great in a theft deck, where you just steal your opponent's stuff. And I've actually seen someone do that, and it's really annoying. Since their commander has an ETB that lets them gain control of target creature and opponent controls, yeah. This Sauron is often used with this Sauron because they both work super well together, it turns out. And, if you see this Sauron, get it off the board as soon as feasibly possible, because if it don't, this person that is controlling this Sauron will get a fuck ton of value, and you will lose. This Sauron is usually seen in Wraith tribal decks. The tribe that literally exists because of the Lord of the Rings set. Yeah, that one. This Sauron, you'll often see with all the Nazgul, and works perfectly with them. Not to mention, if they wanted to dip in red, they could probably play this Sauron and make their... Oh man, it's just so terrible. It's like 4 separate instances of absolute commander nightmare fuel right here. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Like, bruh. This is basically the pinnacle of commander power creep. Right here. Like, this card is just so dumb. And I hate it with every fiber of my being. Now, this one in particular. Ward, as per usual, can't be countered spells are usually the best way to deal here. Can't be countered. Well, I put that in the wrong section. But, basically, any spell that has the word can't be countered by spells or abilities, or just spells, or just can't be countered, usually that'll be great against Sauron, if it's targeted removal anyway. Like this one. Determined. Just makes your other spells uncounterable. And then Caught Red-Handed, which lets you gain control of Sauron and get right past the can't be countered. Lets you get right past the ward too. And, you know, it's just horribly annoying. Sauron is the epitome of broken magic. Oh, and by the way, if someone's willing to make a deck around Sauron, just know that the One Ring is probably in there with it. You know, that one. Well, not that one, but, you know, the One Ring. Just this card is almost always played in every Sauron broken deck I've seen. I hate it. And this card is the pinnacle of what I hate in Commander. Broken, overpowered, generic stuff. Like, this card epitomizes what I hate about Commander. Just, gah. And the fact that every Sauron deck I've ever seen runs this card is kind of ridiculous. Then again, the One Ring is literally breaking the strongest 4-mana magic. So, you know, that's a thing. But, yeah. Wasn't really much of a hate list, but to be fair, I'm kind of lazy. And, you know, so, yeah. Pretty much summarize what I'm saying. If you want to get rid of Saurons, just counter them. Like, straight up, just counter them. Like, most of the Saurons can't do anything because being countered is that hard for them. The Lord of the Rings one, I think, has a cast trigger, which does kind of make it hard to counter it. But do remember that there's always Stifle. And Stifle can counter that triggered ability. Of course, that does require a blue mana and Stifle to be in your hand. So, I mean, it's really hard to come up with a hate list because each Sauron is so different yet the same that it is honestly kind of horrible. Like, I don't know why I had the bright idea to group them all together, but I'm never doing this again with multiple versions of the same commander, because this is a headache. Oh. Anyway, see you next video. Bruh.